wherever that home may be. Amen.
I want to introduce Miss Somerdale 2010, Stephanie Brooke. Now we're going to have Kristy Saunders and Alyssa Patchou sing our national anthem. Thank you. I want to now introduce the VFW Post Commander, Tommy Reese.
I want to thank you all for coming out. I would like to take this time to thank our volunteers. You got Butch and John in the back cooking your hot dogs. We got Megan and Steve over there in our poppy tent. And I'd like to thank Michelle Miller for organizing this. And then we got Mitch Manco is around here all year long with us, and he does a lot of work for us. We'd like to thank him. And Lee Nolan, our Miss Poppy girl, we'd like to thank her too. I hope you all stop by the tent later. There's flags and poppies and pies. The pie ladies over there get fresh baked pie. Of all the observances that we as a nation share, Memorial Day is the most hollow. We recognize Memorial Day with the wearing of the poppy. The poppy symbolizes our love and gratitude for all the brave men and women who have laid down their lives so we may remain free. No place is more hollow than the Flanders field where the poppy rose from the buried field to adore the white crosses of the fallen soldiers. So let us all try and take 1 minute a day to say thank you to all our fallen service people who died so we may enjoy our way of life. God bless you.
I'd like to introduce the VFW Auxiliary President, Sharon Cohen.
Memorial Day. Traditionally, this weekend is the official kick-start of summer. As we watched the news over the past week, the weather forecast at the shore and how it was going to affect the residents there. So many of us are looking forward to this summer, and rightly so, since over the winter we have had record amounts of snowfall. We have the next 3 months to enjoy the most popular vacation time of the year, be it going to the shore, camping, boating, picnicking, or just having more relaxing time to barbecue and get together informally with friends and family. However, Memorial Day is a very solemn day. We gather here today to remember and to give thanks to all of those heroes of our armed forces who gave up their lives while serving us and this great country of ours. We are the land of the free, and it is because of the sacrifices of these brave men and women that we will continue to have the freedom that many countries do not have. We owe a special thanks to all veterans from all of the wars. especially those with us here today. Remember all of our troops who are currently serving in Iraq and Afghanistan. Please continue to support and pray for them. May God protect them and bring them all home soon. Thank you all for coming out today.
I want to introduce Miss Poppy 2010, Leah Nolan. Is Leah around? Here she comes. Hi, kiddo. You want to say a few syllables? Huh? No? God. The next speaker, who I always have a problem with, is Mayor Gary J. Passanante. Hey!
Thank you, Fred. That took 15 years, but you got it. Thank you, and welcome everyone to this annual ceremony. You know, we all have very busy lives with this economic struggle that we're all going through. Everybody's torn in a lot of directions trying to make ends meet. And, you know, today is an opportunity to kind of take a moment, take a deep breath, and think about where we all came from. And I want to thank the VFW, all the members, the men and women who work hard all that force us to stop and think about how important today is and our past. Because if it weren't for the courageous men and women who served our country over the years, we wouldn't be here today, and we wouldn't have the privileges that we all share in. And as difficult as things may be, take a look across the waters and look at some of the other countries, you can see how well off we still are. And it's all due to the men and women who gave their lives to ensure that we have freedom and we can continue to enjoy day in and day out the privileges that we do here in this country. So I can't say enough about the men and women of this VFW who continue to keep it going as they lose men and women each year. They continue to work hard to make sure that there's a presence in this community that shows respect and honor for the men and women who served us throughout the years. Thank you again, personally, for everything that you do for us. And I want to thank our police and our fire, the administration, Michelle Miller, who always goes a step beyond, working hard to get things together, working with the VFW and our fire department and getting everything organized for today. And all of you for coming out. I also want to thank my council who are here. I want to quickly give them some recognition. Carol Jenkins Mitchell, George Ehrman, and Jennifer McQuaid. I get this wrong all the time. And my lovely wife for being here as well, Jean. Thank you. Again, I would just like to say that as you all leave today, that you take a moment to think about how we got here today and how many people had to give their lives to make sure that we could enjoy a day like today. And I thank you all for coming out, because we do have a each year, despite the difficult weather, we get a great turnout. And I appreciate you taking a moment out of your busy schedules to honor all of those who gave their lives. So thank you again, and God bless.
Thank you, Mayor. Our next speaker is the Commandant of the Marine Corps, Commandant Simon.
Well, I love these field commissions here. I'm the past Commandant of the Marine Corps League Somerdale here, filling in for our Commandant. Before I start, I'd like to say we've done a lot of details this past week, and it's a testament to your town. These are the biggest turnout I've seen in any of these fairs that we've been to this week. So, you know, Somerdale is a great place. All right, I'm going to start out with saying good morning to everybody, and then move on here. This was just this week. This week, I'm not even going to read this. This week we passed a milestone. Unfortunately, it was a sad milestone that we've lost 1,000 of our troops in Afghanistan so far. You know, and it's a rough and tough road ahead of them. And unlike other wars, this Afghanistan is actually directed to us. That's where all our problems came from. You know, we're here today on Memorial Day to celebrate all the people who have laid down their lives or their arms and their legs or whatever it be for our freedom in all wars from the beginning of the time. You all know how horrible amputees were in the Civil War. You know, and I'd just like to say that, you know, once again, the turnout that's here is phenomenal. And it has a lot to do with your feelings and about this town and your patriotism. I think it's great. In closing here, because George, our color sergeant, said he'd take his sword and chop my head off if I was really long. But I'd like to thank the Junior ROTC from Sterling High that comes out every year with us. Once again, they are the cream of the crop, as you would say, of our community. These people go out of their way to prepare themselves for military service and to defend our freedom. Thank you.
My next guest is not on the program, who had taken time to come here, is Senator Norcross.
Thank you. It's an incredible day here today. And just as many holidays that we have the pleasure to celebrate in our country, Labor Day, July 4th, Christmas, Easter, all those holidays we would not have the privilege to serve if it not for the men and women who have given the ultimate price defending our great democracy. Today, in a neighboring town just close by, there's a mother and father who are grieving the loss of their son, Lieutenant Korma, who was tragically killed serving our country in Afghanistan about a month ago. They will not have the pleasure of what you have today, of spending it with your children. They certainly understand what he has done, and many of us who have had the honor to let our sons or daughters put on the uniform and serve our great country, never in a million years did they expect to get that knock at the door. The knock that tells them their son or daughter has left and will not be returning home. So as we enjoy this day, let us reflect on why we're truly here. And that's for the men and the women who have given the ultimate sacrifice, laid down their life for our great country. For if it wasn't for them, we would not be here today enjoying the great freedoms with our families. So as we move on today, just keep a prayer in your heart for the lieutenant's mother and father, who are certainly, I'm sure, are going through a very difficult time because of the work that their son had done. So with that note, please keep in your prayers those men and women who are serving overseas right now in conflicts so we can enjoy today. Thank you, and God bless America.
Thank you, Senator. My next guest speaker is Mario Mastriano. Last year I had him as Mario Mastriano, a Pearl Harbor survivor.
Good morning, or good afternoon, whatever it is. Today I brought with me a rifle that at one time belonged to a Jap soldier, and I ended up with it, and I'm going to tell you how I ended up with it. It was mid-1943 on Guadalcanal that the island was 100% ours. But the Japs had snipers hidden in trees that we had to try to get rid of. Because if you tried to walk through the jungle or in places where you shouldn't have been, you were likely to get shot. My commanding officer of the battery, I was in the artillery, I wasn't in the infantry. But the commanding officer was Lieutenant Napier, and I was what they call chief of section of the detail section, which was communication. So he picked me and the fellow I enlisted with, that maybe you know the family, George Herman from Hynella. We enlisted together. And about 15 other soldiers. And we went into a jungle area to try to get a live sniper. The purpose of that was to try to get information from the sniper as to what was going on as far as they were concerned. Now, even though, I stress it, even though the island of Guadalcanal was completely ours, there was a lot of hostility going on. Now, what the Japs would do, they would put a guy up in a tree someplace, camouflaging, tie him up so he couldn't fall, and his job was to kill the American soldier. Our job was to try to get one of those guys down the tree and take them to headquarters and figure out what they're figuring out, what they're trying to do. Well, we went into a jungle area. I don't remember the exact date, but it was sometime in July. And we wedged the men that we had with Lieutenant Napier in the front, me behind him, and George Herman on the other side of him. And I had a Thompson submachine gun to protect me if I had to. And all we did was we had a wedge and we walked through this jungle area. We came to a little creek, something like Somerdale Road Creek. And a Japanese soldier was walking in the water, and we saw him. The officer, Lieutenant Napier, said to him, "Halt," as loud as we could. Now, I don't care if you were German, Italian, Polish, Japanese, or Chinese, you understood what halt meant. He heard us because we saw him move around a little bit to try to figure out where the voice came from. And he walked a little faster pace. And then about 100 feet away, he exited the creek on the opposite side that we were on. So we went into the creek and followed him, and we found that he was on top of a pile of dead Japanese bodies. Evidently, he was on his way there to get information or whatever, and he was laying on top of these bodies, I'd say maybe 20 bodies, and he had his right hand underneath his body. And the officer, Lieutenant Napier, said to us, "If he pulls that hand out, blow him apart. Don't take any chances." Well, he did blow his hand out. We had 45s, we didn't have rifles. And the three of us shot at him, killed him, and now the officer searched him. He got his rifle, his personal belongings, and he had in his pocket a little, appeared to be some kind of a saint, I guess, that they prayed to. When we got back to our area, we didn't know what to do with the rifle or the personal stuff, or this little, I call it a Buddha, what to do with it. So we picked straws. The officer got the paperwork, George Herman got the Buddha, and I got the rifle. I've been taking care of that rifle for all these years. That was back in mid-43. That was 77 years ago. 50, 60, 70 years ago. Long time. So I brought the rifle here. I thought maybe you'd be interested in it. If you want to look at it, you want to carry it, whatever, you better be strong because that rifle is very heavy. Thank you again.
Thanks, Mario. I have a small story before I introduce Joe. This is about Captain Emil J. Captain, a native of Pilsen, Kansas. Captain Emil Captain was assigned to the front lines in Korea as a chaplain with the 3rd Infantry 8th Cavalry Regiment, 1st Cavalry Division, staying behind to help the wounded when their position was overrun near Ulsan. The Roman Catholic priest was captured November the 2nd, 1950. At the time of his capture, he saw a Chinese soldier preparing to shoot a wounded American. He pushed aside the enemy rifle and helped the wounded man, carrying him on his back part way during a 100-mile march to a prison camp in Sambaku. There and later at another camp at Paikatong, Kapan, washed the men's handbag and picked from their bodies. He took care of those who were debilitated by dysentery, and he stole medicine to keep their condition. Once he traded his watch for a blanket, using it to make socks for the men. Kaipan prayed for guidance to Saint Dismas, the good thief who was crucified alongside Christ. Thus at that time he led others on food raids into the cornfields or guard huts, returning with corn, potatoes, or salt for the starving prisoners. He once showed up in the officer's compound with a 100-pound bag of rice. Kapan defied his North Korean captors by sneaking into the enlisted men's quarters in order to boost their morale. When caught, he sometimes was forced to stand stripped naked on ice. Neglecting himself over time, the emancipated clergyman grew weaker. He had lost the sight of one eye from a wood chip while chopping firewood and soon began walking with great difficulty. On account of blood clot in his leg, he weakened even more from dysentery and eventually died on May 23rd, 1951. I lost my body. He was at age 35. Kapan was awarded the Distinguished Service Cross and the Bronze Star currently, and is recommended for the Medal of Honor. Passed several approved points and will soon come before Congress. 7 chaplains have earned the Medal of Honor. One fellow prisoner remarked on Kapan's heroic acts. He was a symbol of something the enemy knew he could not kill, the unconquered spirit of a free man owning final allegiance only to God. In addition to the Roman Catholic Church, is considered the priest in combat boots. For sainthood, he is presently named a servant of God, the first of 4 stages of canonization. In the Korean War, there was a total of 133 Medal of Honors, 937 Distinguished Navy Crosses, 12,146 Silver Stars, 3,882 Legion of Merit, 85,000 Bronze Stars, and 136,913 Purple Hearts. And that concludes my speech. And I hope everybody understands what some of these people do. They go beyond what they're supposed to do. Thank you. Next we have the chaplain, Joe Revstock, with the POW MIAs.
As of now, we were going to the table with talks with North Korea on our POW-MIA issue. But since that sinking of the ship over there, I think the talks are going to be stalled out. They're blaming North Korea for the sinking of that ship. And so far, as of right now, there are 74,791 still missing from World War II, 8,027 from Korea, 1,721 from Vietnam, 77 from the Cold War, and 1 each from Iraq and Afghanistan, as far as POWs and MIAs. Also, this being Memorial Day, I'd like to bring to your attention of a recently lost a true American hero in this country. He was retired Colonel Robert Howard, considered to be the most decorated veteran of the Vietnam War. He was up for the Medal of Honor on 3 different occasions, but he could only receive it once. And President Richard Nixon presented him with that in '71. He also won the Silver Star, 4 Distinguished Service Crosses, 2 Distinguished Service Crosses, 4 Bronze Stars, and on a 54-month period, he was wounded 14 times, of which he received 8 Purple Hearts. There's a true American hero. He died of cancer at the age of 70. May he rest in peace. And may God bless and watch over our prisoners of war missing action and their families. Thank you.
All right, all those who have wreaths kindly enter the hall. And then we'll call them out as soon as you get in there. All veterans, ladies auxiliary. The second laying of the wreaths, Magnolia Ambulance. All veterans, mayor and council. All veterans, Messina family. All veterans, Roseanne, Mike, and Leah. All veterans, Somerdale Fire Company. All veterans, Fire Company, Ladies Auxiliary. All veterans, Somerdale Police. All veterans, Somerdale Democratic Committee. All who served, John Long. Anthony Grickus, Martha Grickus, Anthony Grickus, Isaac Grickus families. Bill Feeney, the Feeney family. Bob Pizzuti, Ken and Jean. Bob Pizzuti, the Manco family. Charles Blair, the Blair family. Carlton Rue, who was the only Medal of Honor winner in this area. His picture hangs up at the old Overbrook High School. Lorraine Gambone, Congressional Medal of Honor. Charles Blair, his family. Charles Boyle, Denny Burns. Charlie Blair, Pat Blair. Daniel Giordano, number 3, Denny Burns. Daniel Schramm, Sarah Graham. Dave O'Neill, Dave Stevenson, Fred Jerry Lederer, Mary Lou, and George Coyne, and Jay Stevenson. Harvey Cooey, their children. Eddie McCarthy Sr., McCarthy family. Ed Kwiatkowski, Rick and Mary Ann Kwiatkowski. Eugene Weidman, his children. Fallen Heroes of Somerdale, Dennis Burns. Former Mayor James Perry, the Perry family. Frank Rebstock, daughter, and Francis Knight. Frank Rebstock family. George Ferry, Ralph, Joe, and Ducky. George Solchecki, Greg and Kathleen Pollock. Gordon Granston, McCarthy family. Harry Hefner Jr., Hefner family. Jack Kilcher, Patty, Mark, and Devin Hefner. James Little, Pat Blair. Jim Murphy, McCarthy family. Jim Pierce Sr., Pierce family. Joe Rebstock family. Joe Sweeney, Dad. Joe Sweeney, sister Ann, and Joe Rebstock. John McHugh, the McHugh family. John Potts, the Potts family. Joseph Burns, Denny Burns. Joseph Graham, Sarah Graham. Joseph Hughes, the Hughes family. Londi Mosiano, the Mosiano family. Milan A. Main, Sarah Grams. Mr. and Mrs. James Loftus, the Loftus family. Patrick Whalen, wife and daughter. Patsy Laurie, George Laurie, Fred, Jerry Lederer, David, Freddie III, Lederer. Pete Spelluto, Rich and Joan. Private Daniel Giordano, McCarthy family. PFC, McCarthy family. Raymond Musiano family. Rick White, children and grandchildren. Rick White, Regina White, Robert McAllister Sr., McAllister family, Roland Lake, Pierce family, Seymour Bodner, his children, Steve Pollock, the Pollock family, Thomas Gambone, the Gambone family, Jim Stark, McCarthy family, Tom Hagee, the Tates, Tom Hagee, the Kaisers. Vito A. Conduzio, wife Josephine J. Conduzio. Walter Haas, the Manco family. Warren Patton, the Patton family. Wayne L. Griffin, Denny Burns. William Barkoff, his family. William Little, Pat Blair, and Willie Main, Sarah Graham. That completes the lining of the wreaths. God bless everyone. We'll now have the retiring of the colors.
Detail. Each foot. Right. Hey. Court. Arm. Raise out. Ready. Aim. Fire. 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 Court. Arm. Lil. Face. Present. Arms. Order. Alrighty. Out. Alice.
Roll call of the deceased. Edward Miles, Marvel Hanson. Okay, what's this? Okay. Before the benediction, I want to thank everyone for being here, especially the fire department, the police department, and everyone in the community. And especially our young people who are going to take my place and these fellows' place someday. And I hope God will be with you. Amen. And now have the benediction from Joe Rexler, the chaplain.
Almighty God, our gratitude for thy generosity grows with each passing day. We acknowledge these days' special blessings. We have honored those who now enjoy the eternal embrace. We ask thy blessings on all here present, especially do we seek thy consolation for those recently bereaved. May thy grace be with them and with us now and forever. And if it be thy will, may we all be favored to gather again in these circumstances and in this company before another year has passed. Amen.
We will now have the closing, but before we have it, I want to invite, we have hot dogs and drink around the back and in the hall. Everyone is welcome to it. Okay? Now we will have God Bless America. By Stephanie Brooke, Kristy Saunders, and Alyssa Patchou. Okay?
Okay. Bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her, guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
That concludes our service. Hope to see you next year.